on Shivat Paramahamsa Shivat Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Sangara Bhakti Puri Vaishnava Vrinda Vijay Namacharya Sthaka Vijay Prem Saga Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasudha Bhakta Vedaki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kundigiran Gachay Vrindavandam Gichay Tadadam Gichay Nadvitam Gichay Gangamai Gichay Yamunamai Gichay Tulasi Devi Gichay Bhakti Devi Gichay Samavita Bhaktavrinda Gichay Gauda Pramanandi. All glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Gangaranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Mama Shivara, So we continue, as usually, with the Transcendental Diary, Travels with His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, November 1975 to April 1976, by Hari Saudi Das. Yes, he left. As a secretary of Srila Prabhupada, he left in 76. And then he came back. So when Prabhupada was very sick at that time, he came back and assisted Tamakrishna Maharaj in the service of Srila Prabhupada. So, who read last time? Anybody knows? Huh? So, we're hearing of Srila Prabhupada from Sri Mayapur Dham, February 21st, 1976. His emissaries returned later in the day without any immediate response from the Gaudiya Math members. But in the evening, few men from the Math came. I read this already. The verse for today's class described how Prahlad Maharaj was not disturbed by Lord Nrsingadeva killing of his father, just as a saintly person is not disturbed by the killing of a snake or scorpion. Srila Prabhupada retold an ancient Prabhupada retold an incident from his early involvement with the Gaudiya Math, which directly related to this verse. The sadhu does not want to kill even an ant, but in the case of Vrishchika Sarpahatya, they are happy. Vichika, scorpion or serpent. So long ago, sometimes in the year 1933, in this Chaitanya Math, there was a big snake came out in my front. I was taking baths. Everyone was looking what to do. So Guru Maharaj was on the upstairs. He immediately ordered, "Kill him!" So it was killed. At that time, 1933, I was newcomer. So I thought, how is that? Guru Maharaj ordered the snake to be killed. I was a little surprised, but later on, when I saw this verse, I was very glad. Modate sadhud api vichiksha sarpahatya. It remained a doubt how Guru Maharaj ordered the snake to be killed. But when I read this verse, I was very much pleased that these creatures, or creatures like the snake, they should not be shown any mercy. No. Naturally, one might question why saintly persons become glad to see a snake killed. And he explained that snakes are so envious that they will bite an innocent victim, even without provocation. They are so cruel. Similarly, Chanakya Pandit compared an envious man to a snake. Chanakya Pandit says, Sarpa krura kala krura, sarpat krurara kalaha. Such person is called kala, envious, jealous. So there are two living creatures. One is snake and one is a jealous or envious person. This man, envious man, is more dangerous than the snake. Why? He's a human being. Yes, because he's a human being and he has got developed consciousness and he has practiced to use the developed consciousness for becoming jealous. He is more dangerous than the snake. So therefore Chanakya Pandit concluded, Maitrau sadi vasha sarpa kala ke na nirvati ate. The snake, although by nature he is so, still he can be controlled by mantra and some herbs. In India they will still do that. But this kala, the jealous person, he cannot be pacified by any means. Therefore he is more dangerous than the snake. He cannot be controlled either by mantra or by bribe or this or that. No. During the massage, Prabhupada heard two reports sent by Rupanuga. Rupanuga had enclosed a newspaper article describing a major victory in our attempts to preach in the universities. Garbira Das in Washington, D.C., after a battle with the university authorities, has now been accepted as an authorized chaplain. He has now been given an office on campus for counseling the students. Srila Prabhupada was very, very happy to read the article, and he sent a letter to Garbira to congratulate him for his efforts. Prabhupada sees this as an important breakthrough in our preaching work. He asked Rupanuga to continue to do the same in other universities. Rupanuga also informed Prabhupada that Ravindra Swarup from Philadelphia had just successfully completed his oral examination for a PhD in religion. Prabhupada was pleased to hear this, and he told him that we need many PhDs for the new Bhaktivedanta Institute. As far as the temples in Rupanuga's zone are concerned, they all seem to be going well, with significant increases in book distribution. Even within the courts in Atlanta, the devotees have won respect for their preaching activities. He told Prabhupada that a federal court judge there had remarked that he had never, during his history on the bench, seen such religious favor. The judge said that it was a new phenomenon in America, and he did not know exactly how to deal with it. We have had preachers, the judge said, but these people are at it 12 hours per day, 365 days a year. I never seen anything like it. Hare Krishna. The preaching movement of Srila Prabhupada. So this is history, of the preaching in America. I think it's Boston, where Rupanuga was. He was preaching. He actually was a senior, also I think he was a professor or something. I'm not sure. Don't take it for granted. So he was very influential. He had actually created a course at the university. And I just saw a photo of Rupanuga with his eagerly listening students. So Prabhupada was always very eager to expand everything, the preaching mission. This was actually Prabhupada's mission. Beyond chanting Hare Krishna and coming to Mangalarti and all that, that's the basis. But in the end, Prabhupada expected that all his devotees, growing up as devotees, they would actively participate in his preaching movement, to expand the Krishna movement all over the world. I remember in the beginning, Prabhupada would all of a sudden tell somebody, you go to Japan now, preach there. You go to Africa, Kenya, like Brahmananda, he sent Brahmananda there. And he sent Trivika Maharaj, he sent to Japan. I don't know if you know Trivika Maharaj, he was one of the first devotees there around. He was also a student at the same university as Rupanuga was. And actually he had even he did his military service. He had a pretty important, post at the military. So when he came to Krishna Consciousness, he was very acting like a sergeant, kind of. And everything had to be perfectly done. Everybody had to be perfectly disciplined. So Srila Prabhupada was engaging everyone in the mission, in the mission Sankirtan movement. And even though in the beginning devotees were not trained like we do nowadays, he didn't. Nowadays you want to open a temple, you have to get the permission first, you have to collect some money, you have to do a lot of things. But in the old days we would just go out, alone, go to some city, and open a temple somehow. Anyway. Speaking of, we're hearing of a professor here commenting about the preaching of the devotees. And I just received a very interesting message, which I would like to read to you. The other day we were speaking about Gopal Krishna Maharaj, remember? No. Yeah? No, nobody was there. And when I read the letter of the GBC, about informing the devotees about the departure of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, I mentioned that he had also been in contact with the president in India, and not just like that, but actually he had befriended him, and the president, what is the name now? The president in India.
I don't know.
You don't know? You're not from India? Huh? Modi, right. So, and I mentioned that he will probably also write something about Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and he did. And I'd like to read that. Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was a revered spiritual icon, globally respected for his unswavering devotion to Bhagavan Sri Krishna and his tireless service through ISKCON. His teachings emphasized the importance of devotion, kindness, and service to others. He also played a significant role in expanding the community service efforts of ISKCON, particularly in areas like education, health, and serving the needy. My thoughts are with all devotees in this tragic hour. Om Shanti. Hare Krishna. It's interesting. Look at the president, paid so much attention to Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So let's go to Srimad Bhagavatam. Sorry, this would take a little while. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 You need any translation? Everybody speaks English? Okay. So we're reading from the 6th canto, 7th chapter, verse 39. Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam Aushanasya Pividyaya Aushanasya Pividyaya Achityadhan Mahendraya Achityadhan Mahendraya Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam Aushanasya Pividyaya Aushanasya Pividyaya Achityadhan Mahendraya Achityadhan Mahendraya Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Aushanasya Pividyaya
Aushanasya Pividyaya
Achityadhan Mahendraya
Achityadhan Mahendraya
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Aushanasya Pividyaya
Aushanasya Pividyaya
Achityadhan Mahendraya
Achityadhan Mahendraya
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Aushanasya Pividyaya
Aushanasya Pividyaya
Achityadhan Mahendraya
Achityadhan Mahendraya
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Aushanasya Pividyaya
Aushanasya Pividyaya
Achityadhan Mahendraya
Achityadhan Mahendraya
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vivuhu
The ladies.
Suryadijam Shriyam Guptam
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Aushanaya Vidyaya
Aushanaya Vidyaya
Achityadam Maham Mahendraya
Achityadam Mahendraya
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vibhu
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vibhu
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Ausanasya Vidyaya
Aushanasya Vidyaya
Achityadam Mahendraya
Achityadam Mahendraya
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vibhu
Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vibhu
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Suradvisham Shriyam Guptam
Ausanasya Vidyaya
Achityadam Mahendraya Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vibhu
Suradvisham, of the enemies of the demigods, Shriyam, the opulence, Guptam, protected, Aushanasya, of Shukaracharya, Api, although, Vidyaya, by the talents, Achitya, collecting, Adat, delivered, Maha Indraya, unto King Indra, Vaishnavya, of Lord Vishnu, Vidyaya, by a prayer, Vibhu, the most powerful Vishwarupa. Translation. The opulence of the demons were generally known as the enemies of the demigods, was protected by the talents and tactics of Shukaracharya. But Vishwarupa, who was most powerful, composed a protective prayer known as the Narayana Kavacha. By this intelligent mantra, he took away the opulence of the demons and gave it to Mahendra, the king of heaven. Purport. The distinction between the demigods, devas, and demons, asuras, is that the demigods are all devotees of Lord Vishnu, whereas the demons are devotees of demigods like Lord Shiva, Goddess Kali, and Goddess Durga. Sometimes the demons are also devotees of Lord Brahma. For example, Hiranyakashipu was a devotee of Lord Brahma. Ravana was a devotee of Lord Shiva. And Mahishasura was a devotee of Goddess Durga. The demigods are devotees of Lord Vishnu, Vishnu Bhakta Smito Daiva, whereas the demons, Asura Tat Apayayaha, are always against the Vishnu Bhaktas or Vaishnavas. To oppose the Vaishnavas, the demons become devotees of Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Kali, Durga, and so on. In the days of yore, many long years ago, there was animosity between the devas and the asuras, and the same spirit still continues, for the devotees of Lord Shiva and Goddess Durga are always envious of Vaishnavas, who are devotees of Lord Vishnu. This strain between the devotees of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu has always existed. In the higher planetary systems, fights between the demons and the demigods continue for a long, long time. Herein we see that Vishwarupa made for the demigods a protective covering, saturated with the Vishnu mantra. Sometimes the Vishnu mantra is called Vishnu Jvara, and the Shiva mantra is called Shiva Jvara. we find in the Shastras that sometimes the Shiva Dwara and Vishnu Dwara are employed in the fights between the demons and the demigods. The word Sudha Dvisham, which in this verse means of the enemies of the demigods, also refers to the atheists. Srimad Bhagavatam elsewhere says that Lord Buddha appeared for the purpose of bewildering the demons or atheists. The Supreme Personality of God always awards his benediction to devotees. The Lord himself confirms this in Bhagavad Gita 9:31. Kaunteya patijanihi name bhakta panashyati. O son of Kunti declared boldly that my devotee never perishes. So repeat the verse. Sudha dvisham shriyam guptam aushanasya vivityaya achidya dhan mahendraya vaishnavya vidyaya vibhuhu. The opulence of the demons, who are generally known as the enemies of the demigods, was protected by the talents and tactics of Shukaracharya. But Vishvarupa, who was most powerful, composed a protective prayer known as the Narayana Kavacha. By this intelligent mantra, he took away the opulence of the demons and gave it to Mahendra, the king of heaven. So it's interesting, no? In former times, the demons also were somehow following Vedic principles, by worshiping the demigods, taking shelter of the demigods. Actually, this forms part of a long process. That first of all, people are educated to worship somebody superior, respect somebody superior, and then accepting the demigods. And once they become more enlightened by following all these principles related to that worship, they, like I said, they start to awaken, become more purified, they become more philosophical. They start to understand the Vedic principles in a deeper way, and finally they understand also that demigods are also not independent, they're actually dependent on Vishnu, they're all servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in the end, being fortunate and by having good association, good guidance, they are elevated to the platform of devotion and devotional service, which is actually the ultimate principle, Vedic principle, to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any expectation, personal benefits, but pure devotional service actually means that you completely surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord without expectation of rewards. Anyway, so this is, like I mentioned, it's interesting that even the demons, they would also be educated, very nicely educated actually. When Hiranyakashipu, when, what was the name of the brother of Hiranyakashipu? When he was killed by Krishna in the form of a, I don't know the word, javali is in Spanish, I don't know. Pig, how is it? Wildschwein, what is it? A boar, yeah, by a boar. So the family was very, how you say, very disturbed, and Hiranyakashipu started preaching to them. He explained to them that actually the soul is eternal. Don't worry so much about the temporary disappearance of our brother, your son. It's very interesting, the seventh canto, how much knowledge this Hiranyakashipu actually had. But he was complying. It was a very special mission, actually. Jaya and Vijay, they were cursed by Kumaras to take birth in the material world. They were given an option of becoming either devotees for a couple of births, or less births as demons. And because they wanted to return quickly to Krishna, to his service, they selected 3 births of demons. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, then Ravana and Kumbhakarna. No, that's it. Was it? I don't remember now. Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and then Shishupal and Dantavakra. And then also, actually they took part in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Sorry, you might wonder why I don't remember so many things, but I had a problem with my brain a couple of years ago, and my memory is not so sharp as before anymore. So what was the name of these 2? Jagai Mada, yeah, Jagai Mada. And they were rendering very nice service to Krishna, actually, as demons. Because it says that Krishna also enjoys a fight every now and then. And not everybody can become his enemy. Actually these enemies are also very nicely selected. They have to also have their own qualifications. Not everyone can fight with Krishna. So, Hiranyakashipu, he's the emblem. He was actually the most envious person at his time. And he, what Prabhupada mentioned here, he took shelter at Brahma. When Hiranyakashipu was practicing his austerities for a long time, and he was practicing very severe austerities, incredible austerities. He would sit there. No, actually, he would not sit. He would be straight up, like with his arms stretched like that, and not moving anymore. And it says in the 7th canto that he became completely immobile. And so the termites, is it? Termiten? Yeah, termiten. They started building in a tropical country, you see them a lot. These, the termites, they build big, but pierced like rocks in the middle of on the field. Now you see them all over the place. So they built it around him and ate away his body. He actually was invisible. He was invisible at one point when Brahma appeared before Hiranyakashipu. And so Brahma was very surprised to see him in the subtle form only. So the first thing he did, he reconstructed his body. And then he asked him, so what is the purpose of all this? What do you want? And so Hiranyakashipu said, I want to, actually it says in the Bhagavatam, Hiranyakashipu had thought that Brahma was actually the supreme controller. And he said, I want to be like you. I want to be eternal. He thought he was eternal also. So then Brahma admitted that actually I'm not eternal. I'm also under the influence of time. So then Hiranyakashipu thought, oh, this is, he's telling me a story to avoid giving me this benediction. So he started formulating his desire in a different way. He gave a lot of, definitions. Like I can't give me the benediction. I cannot be killed at day, not at night. I cannot be killed by, he mentioned a couple of living entities like that. And then finally thought, now I have become immortal. And I am becoming the supreme. Nobody can kill me. And he started conquering the whole universe. So we all know the story. No, actually, it's now soon that we be the appearance day of Nrsimha. I hope you all go there. Are you? Are you also going? So the festival? Nrsimha Chaturasi. Sorry?
In Belgium, we live in Belgium.
Oh, you live in Belgium?
No, we're going there. We're repairing harmonium. So next station is Gauradesh. Deva Prabhu and I, in service of repairing harmonium. So next station is Gauradesh.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So, no, the festival will be soon, and I remember this deity actually in the Singha Kshetra, or no, Singhachanan they call it now. I think this name was given by Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj. They had a lot of changes, no, of names during the years. So I remember that the way that deity appeared. You know, at that time, Harikesh was traveling, and actually he had some problems. So he came to Mayapur, and the devotees in Mayapur suggested that he worship Nrsimhadev. Not only Nrsimhadev, they also get some special mantras and all that. Anyway, so then he started traveling in a zone with a deity, Nrsimhadev. And his servant, his assistant, would always worship Nrsimhadev. And at one point, Krishna Chaitanya became his servant. And they demanded in all the temples that he visited with the murti, they had to have an altar for him, this deity. You know? I remember that. So then Krishna Chaitanya became more and more sophisticated with that worship of Nrsimhadev. On Nrsimhadev. So then they decided to have a Nrsimha deity, a big deity, and they wanted to have it in Singhachanan, it's called now, no? The farm. And they decided that this farm should be very far away from all cities, right? Metropolis, very far away. And they put it in the corner between the three countries, Czechoslovakia, no, Czech, and I don't know how they say nowadays, Czech, Austria and Germany, very far from the cities. Because Hare Krishna also had this kind of paranoia for the Third World War. So that's why he said it should be very far away from the cities like that. And also then in the end, the big Nrsimhadev appeared. And now it's becoming a place of pilgrimage. And from far away places of the world, they come and take the darshan of this deity. Anyway, so then coming back to the text here, it says that the Shukaracharya had created mantras to protect the demons. Mantras. And anyway, mantra means that there's something related to the Vedic knowledge. And Adisudana, what is the name? What is Arisudana? I don't remember the name. The guru of the demigod? Huh? Vishwarup. No, he also created, it's mentioned here that he was a very powerful personality. That means he was very pure. And he created mantras to protect the demigods, even to the point that he took all the opulence from the demons and put it over to the demigods. So, and I just heard there's about 33 million demigods in the universe. And they have different administrative departments, I say. Yeah, different. Even one, I read a purpose of Srila Prabhupada said that our different functions, bodily functions, are also under different demigods, not just one, but many. So everything is nicely controlled by the devas. In Germany we say, well, in English you say demigods. They're not God, but they're demigods, subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one part, Prabhupada also mentioned that the demigods are Sakama devotees. That means they have their own, they have their own personal interests. And we can see the activities of the demigods, like Indra here. Indra is known to have committed a lot of mistakes. So, even Shiva and Brahma also, obviously there are some limitations. Just like it says here, the demons that will take shelter in Shiva, and Durga, and the demigods. Actually, it says in the Bhagavad Gita that those who are less intelligent, they worship the demigods. And there's many examples of worshippers of Lord Shiva. For example, there was one who had practiced severe austerities, and then he attracted the attention of Lord Shiva, and he wanted the benediction that whenever he touched the head of somebody, the head would fall off. That actually he would kill that person, just like that. And then when he was given this so-called benediction, he immediately tried to touch Shiva's head. So Shiva started running, and the demon was running after him with his hand stretched like that, trying to touch his head. And finally, Shiva took shelter in Vishnu. And Vishnu told him, yeah, okay, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And sooner or later came the demon. So Vishnu started talking with him, and then he told him that I have a benediction from Shiva. And then Vishnu told him, well, how do you know it works? The demigods, they also commit some mistakes sometimes. Why don't you try it? And he tried it on his own head. Bah! And his head fell off. And there's many examples like that, of devotees of Lord Shiva. And of course there are the Yuga avatars. Especially Shiva is supposed to have a lot of followers who are not so pure, demons. And they're searching some material, temporary benedictions from him. And Brahma also, he gave this benediction to Hiranyakashipu to become eternal like that. But I was mentioned the other day that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling, he would only accept the invitation to the Brahmanas, to the homes of the Brahmanas. Why was that? I told you that this was, and Prabhupada mentioned Chaitanya Charitamrita, this was because at the home of the Brahmanas there would always be prasad. They would not eat anything which would not have been offered to Vishnu Tattva, to one of the forms of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Anyway, so this story comes to an end now. This chapter comes to an end. The next verse, it's the last verse. And then we hear the description of the Kavacha. The mantra is mentioned. That was given to Indra. It says in the verse, it mentions that, it says here, Maha Indraya. And Srila Prabhupada gives in the translation, Mahendra, Mahendra, the king of the demigods. The king is supposed to be the topmost. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also mentions Raja Vidya, amongst all the different forms of knowledge. Devotional service is the king of knowledge, is the supreme knowledge. So Indra is described as the king of the demigods. So everyone was treating him very respectfully. But it went into his head. He became proud. And there's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita where all the different qualities, the different symptoms of knowledge are described. The symptoms of somebody is really based on sublime knowledge. He manifests certain qualities. And the first quality that is mentioned is amanitvam. Amanitvam means humbleness. Unless there's humbleness or surrender, there's no question of advancing, or developing certain required qualities of a devotee. Just like also Shikshastra, Trinadapi Sunichina Tarviva Sahishana Manina Maradena Kirtaniya Sadhana. This is a very, very important instruction that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives in the Shikshastra. And this is a basic principle for devotional life. Unless we become humble, there's no question of advancing in Krishna consciousness. Trinadapi Sunichana. Be more, feel yourself more insignificant than the straw. A straw in the street. Straw in the street, everyone is trampling on this. On the former times, they didn't have these streets like we have nowadays. Everything was, like pavement, how you say that? But they would actually walk on the dirt. That's why saintly persons are used to carrying them in palanquins. Palanquins. Yeah. Anyway, so the point is that unless one is feels insignificant. You see, even in the life of Srila Prabhupada, he gave so many. He mentioned so many times that he didn't feel, like the leader, but actually, Prabhupada mentioned sometimes he felt like the servant of his disciples. This is actually what is meant by it. Then more tolerant than a tree. Not just tolerant like a tree, but more tolerant than a tree. So, trees are supposed to be, supposed to tolerate so many inconveniences. Just like here in Europe, when the winter comes, the trees lose all their leaves. We have heard that the consciousness of the tree goes deep. I say retrieves. I say, yeah. And then the consciousness again comes back, extends, and it's more hot. Anyway, so more tolerant than a tree. We take so many. We are used to take so much from the trees. In the end, somebody might even come and cut it completely, take it off, and use the wood or the timber for construction work like that. Actually, it's mentioned in the Shastra that to plant a tree is a pious activity. In Prabhupada, there's certain comments of Srila Prabhupada that says we should not cut trees unnecessarily. So, and then more tolerant than a tree. And Tinarapi Vihishna Manina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. What was the last point? Huh? More, I say, insignificant than the grass, then more tolerant than a tree, and giving respect to others without expectation, of respect. And then in the end it says, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Kirtaniya Sadahari significa, si nosotros adaptamos esas actitudes, podemos cantar, podemos chant the holy names without difficulties. Okay, any questions or comments? Yeah, but
my question is, in Gauradesh also, Gauranga was meeting Shiva. And Shiva is also now a devotee, so everyone who worships Shiva, do they get some benefit? Because he's also Vaishnava.
They get benefit, but it's pretty troublesome.
And another question was regarding the Transcendental Diary, when Bhakti Siddhanta says
It's just like, parents are trying to educate their children, and sometimes the children are rebellious, I say, yeah. So the father says, okay, so do it. And how it's learned by the hard knocks, how you say that? Yes. Is that understandable, what I said? Just like, wenn du nicht hören willst, musst du fühlen. If you don't hear, then you have to learn by, how you say, by the hard knocks, the school of hard knocks. Hare Krishna. You want to comment something? No.
Just like you say, learning how it is an example.
Sorry?
When you say that there was sometime you have to learn by hard knocks or in a hard way.
Yeah.
So this example, a person also can tell million times to child, don't touch the end, don't touch the end, don't touch the end, it's war. But until baby don't touch and burn his hand, he will
yes, don't touch the fire. Don't touch the fire, right.
Then it's
yeah.
My other question was like in the Transcendental Diary when Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said that you should kill the snake. It's like for every human should, when they see a snake, kill, or it's just the Vaishnavas? This was for every human.
Well, around here, there's not many poisonous snakes. No, there's Blindschleichen. No? What is that? Yeah. Everyone knows that they're harmless. They don't have poison like that. But this is. I heard it differently before. I heard that Prabhupada came to the Chaitanya Math in Mayapur. Chaitanya Math was a big temple that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati constructed in Mayapur. And also there is a samadhi of Gokishodas Babaji in the background also, in the backyard. Anyway, so Prabhupada came, and all of a sudden there was a snake. And normally Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was on the balcony. It said that he used to chant japa on his balcony, strong, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Prabhupada was down there looking, and all of a sudden there was a snake, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, kill the snake! And Prabhupada was surprised. Wow, what? He's supposed to be a saintly person. He's giving the order to kill somebody. And then later on, No, Prabhupada realized actually this was an instruction of the Shastra. This was contained in Shastra. Yeah. And the snakes are still very present in Mayapur. Yeah? Even in some sense in the houses of devotees in Mayapur snakes appear. Yeah? Especially when there is inundations. Flood, is that how you say that? Yeah. When too much water or Ganges goes up and it's all flooded. The water even comes into the temple. There's maybe you have seen the photos. Sometimes the devotees stand in the temple and they're up to here with water. In the Mangal Arti, and the altar is pretty up, high up. Yeah. And then also the snakes appear, because the snakes also take shelter in places which are much more elevated. Like that. In South America, they're also full of snakes everywhere. And it's pretty common that people die of snake bites. Huh?
I have a question.
Yes.
So this text is about demigods and demons.
Sorry?
About demigods and demons.
Yes.
And there was even mantra to protect the demons.
Mm-hmm.
What I know, in us also we have demonic qualities and we have divine qualities. Yes, how to define. Yes, it is difficult to define because mind is influencing us, and to define in us ourselves what is demonic, what is divine. So these things are so fighting with each other, and our body and soul. Our divine, how to say, qualities and demonic qualities, we have both. Yes. So how
you said we have both. That's what you said?
I have both, I don't know. How to protect ourselves?
Chanting Hare Krishna.
Some mantra, there is
Chanting Hare Krishna as much as possible.
There is a mantra here, it's about the mantra to protect the demons. Yes.
Yeah.
Why to protect the demons?
In this age of Kali Yuga, there's nothing else. You better take shelter in the holy name. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama Kevalam, Kanava Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatindata. Actually, it should say Harinama, Harinama, Harinama. No? When it says 3 times in the Shastra, it's emphasis. How you say? You better accept it. You better take it serious. So this age of Kali Yuga, there's nothing left except for the chanting of the holy names. I remember we were in India when Prabhupada, this was in 70, I don't remember, but the temple, the construction of the temple was going on in Vrindavan. And actually Prabhupada had expected that they finish the temple quick. And then he had to move the opening of the temple all the time. And finally Prabhupada decided, no, now we install the deities, even though not everything is finished yet. And then for the installation, Prabhupada invited important brahmanas from Vrindavan. He invited important brahmanas to give it more, how you say, the temple more importance, so that people would take it serious, our temple. And I remember we were there, and they're doing these fire sacrifices, and there were several brahmanas sitting, and everyone had a fire sacrifice. And I remember they had a lot of copper wires also. I don't know what the meaning of that was all over. And then Prabhupada had invited some important people, also from the government. And Prabhupada invited them to speak first. So they were glorifying Prabhupada's movement and this and that. And then actually the sacrifices lasted days and days, not just one sacrifice like we do normally. And finally then Prabhupada spoke. And Prabhupada said something very interesting. He even mentions it in the Bhagavatam in one part. Prabhupada said, actually, all these sacrifices, all these fires were not really necessary. We could have installed the deities just chanting Hare Krishna. Yes.
But why did he make it when it is not necessary?
Sorry?
I ask myself now, why did he done it? Did he make it when it is not
Yes,
necessary?
so it would be taken seriously.
Okay.
To come to the conclusion, come to the conclusion that Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, takes some time, takes some purification. But not everybody is on the same platform. Not everyone realizes this, understands this. That's why so many other Vedic rules and regulations we also maintain so it taken serious. Just like when Prabhupada was starting preaching in India before he went to the West, there was hardly anybody who came to his programs. Hardly anybody took it serious, what Prabhupada was doing. There's a very interesting statement. Nobody is prophet in his own country. You understand what I say? Yeah. Even Prabhupada had to do that. He became famous in the West because he was very special. In so many aspects. Prabhupada was a senior gentleman. He was a guru from India, not from New York or from Köln. He was very, very learned. He was a very expert, and also another thing, Prabhupada knew how to organize things in an incredible way. There were so many things, so many qualities that Prabhupada had. But in India, people didn't take him so serious. Because when you go to India, and especially in the beginning when we started going to India, the Indians normally when they saw us or when we in contact with them, they started preaching to us, because they were thinking they're just Westerners, and they quoted so much Sanskrit and all that, But in due course of time, things changed. Because I noticed that actually devotees are learning, and they're very serious. When they heard that we were following the 4 regulated principles, they couldn't believe it. Westerners, not eating meat, no intoxication and all that, not tea, not coffee, not smoking and all that. Yes, so Srila Prabhupada started also sending his disciples all over the world. And especially when they came from America or Europe, they were taken very serious. Just like where I am now, in South America or Latin America. They are looking at America and they are looking at Europe. Whatever happens in Europe and America, this is very attractive. And it takes years, sometimes it takes time. First they do it in America, then it comes to Europe, and then it comes to the rest of the world. This we have observed, yes, like that. Yeah. And because Hare Krishna is, became important in America, Just like the hippies, the hippie movement started in America. You know? So when all these hippies, they appreciated Srila Prabhupada's movement, they became important. Yeah? I don't know, I got off a little bit from your question. What was your question again?
No, my question was finished. I think another one was asking something.
You. Sorry.
It was about demons and demigods.
Yeah.
Question.
So become a devotee. You are in the process. So you actually, have advanced in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes devotees say, "Well, I'm not so important. I'm very insignificant." But when you compare your life to the life antes you had, actually there's a difference, a big difference. Yeah, you understand?
Yes, because of you.
There's a big difference. Yeah.
It's you.
The devotee, the devotee is normally very humble. So he sees himself as insignificant. And completely dependent on the mercy of spiritual master and the devotees, like that. Yeah. But comparing devotees to outsiders, to persons who have never come in contact with Krishna consciousness, there's a big difference. This might not be very much appreciated in a materialistic society, but it's just a question of time. So many things have changed since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu movement came to the West. Yeah. So many things. Like, for example, why there are so many vegetarians? This is connected with the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah? When we became devotees, there were hardly any vegetarians. And they were thinking that we were crazy. When you went to a doctor or somewhere, they heard that you're vegetarian. You're crazy. You have to eat meat. Yeah? Nowadays, becoming respectable. Or they used to smoke all over the place. In the airplanes, they had a section where where the smokers were sitting. But because they were smoking, the whole rest of the airplane also had to inhalate the smoke. Now it's strictly forbidden, not only in the airplane, also in the airports. They have now special rooms for the smokers. They can't smoke in the open like that. Yeah. And so many other things. So many people have received the books of Srila Prabhupada, and there is a change. People don't notice, but the influence is on a very subtle platform, underlying this whole thing, and that's why people are becoming more conscious. It's like Germany is also somehow. They also have how you say, Ruf, what is that? Ruf? Reputation of having a lot of vegetarians living here. Yeah, I think it's 20% or 30% are vegetarians and vegans. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
An envious person is more dangerous like a snake. How to deal with a colleague who's envious, and should I change the company, or how to deal with that?
Well, depends. Those who have contact with the outside world, like by working somewhere, they just have to learn how to tolerate. You cannot expect, from ignorant people, you cannot expect that they appreciate everything that we do. How do you do? Huh?
You have to tolerate the only thing you can do. You cannot change the people in colleagues, especially you cannot change. They have their habits, you have your habits.
Yeah, but you know what? She has become very popular outside, even at the workplace, because she has such nice qualities. Like I used to go to an eye doctor, you know, kind of problem with my eyes, and she worked there before in that place. That's why I came in contact with this eye clinic there. So then she told me she had left the work, and she told me, greet them from me. How you say it? Like, grüß sie von mir. What is it in English?
Greetings.
Yeah, greet them from me as recommendation. You know? And I was surprised how people, the employees of that clinic reacted. Wow, see, it's such a pain that she had left us. You know? But they don't know that she's a devotee. They just know she's a vegetarian or something like that. Yeah, but because of her nice qualities, she's very much appreciated. Because she's a Vaishnavi. So in the same way, you should also preach by being nice, kind, respectful. What do you think?
Yes, in theory, okay, she is an example that this runs the system. My experience is you are friendly and they are get more angry, more if you, I don't know.
Yeah, we have to tolerate.
People who are getting more angry, I have to work with lots of people. You have to become even more friendly. And finally they realize, they see, okay, she's not disturbed by my behavior, they calm down. You have to, you cannot live in this world otherwise. Doesn't matter.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Otherwise, what will you do? There's two options. You move into the temple, no? Become a brahmachari, or you continue working.
Yes, well, one option is fight fire with fire.
Sorry?
Some people fight fire with fire. If some people are always in this way, if so you get it in the same way, they stop it.
No, but
If they see
nowadays they have this expression, red line, you know, red line. You tolerate, you know, unless they pass a red line. You know? Red line, for example, no. I'm a vegetarian, Jai, so what? No? Or I don't smoke, like these kind of things. And if you're strict in your principles, they will also respect you. Especially when you're always friendly, and all of a sudden you make a point, you know. Wow. Yeah. This is more psychology, this is not so. But it's just, you know, the way you have to learn how to act as a devotee. Especially when you're very much in contact with non-devotees. Yeah, bitte? Yes?
I just remembered this story with Narada Muni and the snake.
And the what?
Narada Muni and the snake.
Oh, yes.
And the snake was treated badly by people because the snake was devotee, and the snake didn't want to bite anymore because she became devotee. And she was asking for advice from Narada Muni what to do, because other people were recognizing that the snake was not dangerous anymore, and they were beating the snake and having fun with it, you know, and treated it badly. And then the Narada Muni gave instruction to the snake. You should take your you should act as you are dangerous. You know, you should take the pose like you will bite, you know, and but don't bite. something which can be used by devotees if the people recognize that we are meek and humble and they can treat us unfair, then we should like threat as we are actually going to respond, but we don't. I don't know how to put it in practice, but Narada Muni gave this kind of advice to the snake.
Yeah, you better learn how to do that. Maybe you should get some advice from like Chaitanya Lila. She can help you maybe, because she's also working outside. Yeah, I'm useless for this. I haven't, almost never worked. Prabhupada saved me in the very beginning. Yeah. I moved into the temple as soon as, anyway. And I was in the temple for a week maybe, and then Prabhupada came, and I asked him if I can be his disciple. And he initiated me. That's the week after I moved into the temple. Nowadays you have to have a lot of stuff, like a disciple course and who knows what, so many things. In the beginning things were different. Now it's much more bureaucracy and a lot of other stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
I've also heard that some people were spreading rumors that the Hare Krishnas, that they were a CIA operation.
In America, this was in India. Yeah.
In India?
Yeah.
How did the devotees handle this situation, these rumors? How was it at the time that these rumors came up?
It's mentioned in the Transcendental Diary also, and also in the Lilamrita. I don't remember the details. This was actually brought up in Parliament in India. Some communist, they have a communist party also. So the communist party were saying that actually these Westerners who are coming here, devotees, they're agents of CIA because they came from America also, no? Yeah. I don't remember now. But somehow or other, Prabhupada always ridiculed this, yeah, and in the West, many people ask, where do you get your money from? Kind of. And in India, they say, we're getting the money from the CIA. Nobody can actually understand this, unless one is a devotee, how devotees live. Just like Jesus Christ also. He gave the instruction to his disciples to go out and preach without a second shirt, without a roof, I say, but their head, without having an apartment or something like that. Yeah. And it's also said in the Bible, in the Old Testament, it says, the birds and the lilies, they get their, food, by the mercy of God. And Prabhupada did the same thing. Prabhupada came to the West without anything, just 40 rupees. 40 rupees at that time was like kind of $7 or something. 40 rupees now is like 30 cents. Yeah. And what maintained Prabhupada? This is inconceivable. He came without anything and Krishna maintained him. There's a diary, Prabhupada had a diary. This is published as a big book nowadays. Prabhupada's diary, the first days in New York. And Prabhupada was accounting, how say? Today I spent 30 cents on a letter, Somebody gave a donation of $2, kind of. And then in the end, Prabhupada would say, when he was preached to the businessmen in India, he said, "This is the best business, Hare Krishna. I went without anything, and now I have so much. I construct big temples and all that. Why don't you follow me?" Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.